Hey guys, we are here for William's bad ending number 5, so we're making our way through. Slowly but surely. So, for this one, I have loaded save 2 from going into bad ending number 1. And this time I don't have to kick the brownie away. Hooray! But I am ignoring it. So, we haven't seen this yet. We'll see what happens. Save me, brownie, from myself! I rolled my eyes heavenward and did my best to just ignore it. Trying to interact with that thing in the middle of the kitchen was asking for trouble. I could only imagine what would happen if Mom walked in and saw me talking to thin air. There wasn't, as far as I knew, a how to hide the fact you're magical from your parents' guidebook. But if there was, I was certain that talking to brownies in the kitchen was on the list of don'ts. I went to take a bite of my egg, making a valiant effort to not react to its frantic attempts to get me into trouble. The food didn't quite make it to my mouth. A whirl of tattered brown literally flew at my face from the floor with an ear-piercing shriek. Thank you. I let out a muffled yell and jumped back, toppling my stool and landing on my back with a heavy thud. Stunned, I watched as the brownie attacked my egg toast in a dramatic rage, shredded it, and stormed away. What the heck? That's one piece of toast that will never threaten us again. I picked myself up, surprised Mom hadn't shown up to question that little shriek yet. I need to clean this up before she gets here. I quickly righted the stool, rubbing my poor backside. We really needed a rug or something. Still, what on earth had I done to piss that stupid thing off? I mean, given everything else I'd been through, this wasn't quite enough to get me that worked up. Still annoying, though. Do they put you in jail for murdering brownies? I retrieved the paper towels, contemplating the ins and outs of murdering a fairy. Holding one hand at the edge of the tile, I used the other to sweep the crumbs into it. Ouch! I hissed and jerked my hand back as something sharp cut into my palm. A cascade of crumbs fell to the floor. What the... A streak of blood welled up across the center of my palm. It was more a scratch than anything, but what the heck? A quick inspection of the countertop revealed a small shard of glass lurking in the toast debris. More than one, actually. Were those in my toast? There was a shuffle of movement near the stairs, and I realized Spencer was there, staring at me as usual. Did he? No. No, that was just really paranoid. He might be cranky and suspicious of me, but he wouldn't go that far. It was more likely that someone broke something and didn't clean it up well. Then I'd found the pieces while cleaning up the leftovers from the epic battle of the brownie and the toast. I'd watch that movie. I swept the rest of the crumbs to the floor, taking care to shield my hand with paper towels this time, then retrieved the broom to sweep it all up. Swiping an extra paper towel to stop the bleeding, I grabbed my things and headed outside, still a little weirded out by that. I guess I guess Elliot wasn't there to offer to lick your wound today. Okay. Now we're gonna have some choices that we've done before for a little bit. So we're just gonna go through those really, really fast. Let's see, this one is I need time to think about it. I need to ignore it and try to leave. Okay, we're gonna make it through to school and not crash horribly, that's good. Offer to help him clean up. It took you long enough. This one, I need to call his name again. Be a little bit clingy. Not tell him I trust him. Get the wind for a little while. Knock, knock, knock. I need to flee the room to safety. Ah. So this is gonna be different. I guess Rule's not gonna get me. The door to the bathroom opened and I heard a familiar voice. Nora, why are you talking to your... Spencer, stay back!
What's...
Ghost thing didn't like the interruption. It rushed at me, its black robes billowing out. Ah! I dove toward the bed for the amulet on the nightstand. Oh, okay. So she goes for the amulet anyway in this one. Smack! Okay, well thanks, Spencer. You saved your eye and me, so good job. This one, I say we just shoot it outside, like I did in the good ending. Okay, I think this is the furthest I've gotten as far as bad ends so far. So, hooray! I haven't picked this one yet with you. No, I guess not.
Exactly. I mean, you were attacked by Big Bird?
A Big Bird, thank you very much. If a guy in a yellow bird suit was showing up in my room in the middle of the night, it would be a totally different problem.
So it really was a bird?
No. I glanced back at the house. Look, the short version is that the ghost thing from the woods showed up in my room.
What?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it wasn't Big Bird. Allie glanced toward my bedroom window. She frowned.
Your window's broken?
Yeah. That happened when I kicked it out. Look, I promise I'll explain at school. Ultimately, everyone is fine.
Okay. Just don't scare me like that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't expect that my werewolf neighbor had amazing hearing.
Heh, now you know. If I were you, I'd stop singing in the shower.
I shoved her shoulder lightly. I do not sing in the shower. That's what Dad does.
Oh man, poor Danny.
Yeah, Dad's pretty tone deaf.
Well, you look like you're okay, so I guess I should be going.
She paused and looked over my shoulder.
Please don't strangle Spencer on the way to school.
I would never try to strangle the person behind the wheel. I'll definitely wait until we've come to a complete stop.
Very funny.
I think he's going to handle it okay. I mean, at this point, he's already witnessed quite a lot. What's left to freak out about?
Okay, I'll see you there. Be careful, okay?
We will. She hopped in her car and waved as she drove off. Alright. Oh, not yet. I thought Danny had shown up for this conversation before. I guess because of the option I picked, he's like, nope. When I looked back at the house, Spencer was already standing on the porch. What was that? Emergency meeting? Well, Allie was worried. So, you know how it goes. Okay, another new option. Just wait here while I see if anyone's inside. I don't want people to freak out if I show up with you. Well, as far as most of the club members know, you're normal and you shouldn't be lurking in the club room. I'd rather give them warning. And check for headless people. What was that? Nothing. I stepped up to the door and poked my head in. Gus and William were sitting together on the sofa. My stomach sank. Just the people I didn't want to face at the moment. Allie was nowhere to be seen, but she may have not been able to blow off her office work. Gus and William looked up at me, but I immediately retreated back into the hallway. What's wrong? Nothing. It's just going to be kind of awkward. Come on. I took his arm and pulled him into the club with me. So much for the advance warning. Another new option. Talking to Velos. I just need to talk to Velos. You're still mad at me about yesterday, huh? Do I look mad? Yeah, you kinda do. Then maybe it's because I don't like being told whom I'm allowed to be friends with. Nora, please. Don't be mad. I gave him a long look. My anger evaporated when I saw how upset he looked, but it didn't change that I was frustrated at them both. I'm not mad at you, William. I'm just frustrated. I thought we were... I shook my head, not wanting to get into that with Guess and Spencer standing right there. It doesn't matter what I thought. The fact is, I'm capable of deciding whether or not a friendship or a person is worth the danger attached to getting to know them. I'm not mad, but I'm not happy that neither of you trusted me to make that decision on my own. And, William, you didn't just talk to me about it. We could have worked something out. I'm sorry. Instead, I was just kicked out of your life. And how is it fair to be told to stay away and not involve myself with you if you still get to ask me if I'm okay? Or do we get to be friends when we're in this room and just not everywhere else? Because I can't do that. I can't spend time with you here, then ignore you and be ignored everywhere else like the others do. If I have to stay away from you out there, then I'm going to stay away from you in here too. I tried to ignore the look on William's face. He might not like what I was saying, but I hadn't been thrilled about what happened yesterday either. And I didn't think I was wrong. Should we leave you two alone? This feels like it's getting a bit... It's fine. Spencer and I need to talk to Velos anyway. And you're the one who said I shouldn't spend time with him anyway. Alright. Well, good talk as always. Alright, another new choice. Wait, what? Is that really necessary? There was so much to unpack there. Not to mention, William's really been staying in the club room?
And here in the library, yes. His chorus, as Guess calls them, offered protection against things like these drudges. Without them, he needs to be somewhere safe. The club has a protective barrier around it, and it's easily accessible to here.
And I have to stay there too now?
It's the safest place until we either catch this drudge, or until overflow fades.
But I... Okay, are we back with the music change? Yes. Man, so many new choices. If this is about what I said earlier, I was just being honest.
Then tone the honesty down. It's not what he needs to hear right now.
You're not getting this, so let me state it clearly. Mind your own business. You don't get to tell me how to interact with him. And if I disagree with something he's done, I'm allowed to say so. If you don't like it... I shrugged. Feel free to beat me up with your wrench, I guess. Damn. She released my arm, scowling.
Has anyone ever told you that you're an obnoxious brat?
Yep. Pretty sure I've heard that once or twice, but thanks for weighing in. Now if we're done here... Ooh, sassy molasses, my goodness.
Nora. I want you to know that I never wanted to make you feel bad. I just didn't want to see anyone get hurt anymore.
Ah. We hadn't really gotten any time to talk during the day. Just the two of us, anyway. So even if the awkwardness faded a little while Allie and Spencer were still here, it wasn't like the air was really cleared. I sighed softly, pushing my journal aside. I know that, William. I can't imagine you intentionally hurting anyone.
With everything that's happened, with how I pushed you away, I understand if you don't want to talk to me anymore.
That isn't what I want. That's the whole point. Look, William. I understand that there's a need to be careful about interactions in unprotected spaces. I just don't like being told who I can talk to, or just being told I should stay away as if we're not capable of working something out ourselves. I do understand that your situation is unique, but you're my friend. I'm not going to just abandon you. I can't do that.
I know. You aren't like that.
I can respect rules and boundaries. I mean, sort of. Most of the time. But look, being careful is different than totally ignoring you. What I don't want is to see you sacrifice your own happiness because you think you're protecting me. I don't need that.
You shouldn't be so willing to throw yourself at danger.
That's not what I'm trying to do.
No one else in the club really ever questioned staying away from me. Even Mark is fine staying away. You're the first person to ignore that.
In my defense, I didn't know staying away from you was some kind of rule. I'd have broken it anyway, though. I struggle with rules, and that happens to be a really stupid one at that.
I'm glad you broke that rule. Though, for the record, it's not really a rule.
Interesting. He's like, even Mark, who's like my good friend Mark, will stay away from me outside. Interesting.
In any case, Gus was right. It doesn't really matter now since...
Hey. I took his hand and gave it a squeeze. We don't have to talk about that.
If I hadn't talked to you and spent time with you, they wouldn't have targeted you. I wouldn't have gotten mad. You wouldn't have to be stuck here now.
He was speaking so softly, I almost had to strain to hear him. I'm glad you talked to me. I'm glad we spent time together. Wasn't so happy to get pushed off the stairs, but that wasn't your fault. Even ghosts have to be responsible for their own actions. You saved me. Twice, since that amulet of yours also saved my butt last night. I'm glad that I get to be stuck here with you, okay? He shot me an uncertain smile.
You're too nice.
I know a lot of people who'll disagree with you about that. Besides, you're the nice one. He lowered his eyes, flushing slightly.
I'm not.
Aw, that was so adorable. You guys are so freaking wholesome all the time, even when you're upset at each other. My heart. Okay, mind meld time. And I have to ask, are you sure it'll work? Are you sure it'll work?
I don't know for sure, but we can at least try.
But how? I mean, if it's not something I can remember, then...
The memories are still there, even if they're locked away where you can't access them. If the memories about the Faerie Hill are sealed, that's one thing. We'll see the seal, but may still be unable to access them. But the memories from when you went missing don't seem to be actually sealed. Like your sleepwalking blackouts and how you don't remember what happens during those times. The memories from 5 years ago seem to be inaccessible for a different reason. So we just have to find them. Once we do that, you should be able to remember normally again.
I pulled my legs up to my chest, mulling it over. What makes you think you can find them if even I can't?
Because I see your mind differently than you. It's like how you can't see your own face without a mirror. So if there's something on your face, you only know if someone else tells you, or you see your reflection. In this case, I'll function as your mirror. You'll be able to see your thoughts like you're looking from the outside.
So the one who'll actually be doing the finding is me?
Yes.
But how will I know where to look?
You know your mind better than anyone else. You shouldn't have difficulty navigating it.
Alright. Thank you for answering my questions. Ah. I want this to stop. William, I think I want to stop this now. I don't think it's working. There was no answer, just a feeling of chills swirling around me and through me to my core. William! Stop it! William! Through the thick, choking dark came no answer. Something was wrong. It had to be. He'd been so confident this would work, but it definitely wasn't working. But then what was that voice I'd heard? No, I didn't have to ask that. That was the same voice from my dreams. The same voice I'd heard during that first attack. But if it wasn't me and it wasn't William, then who was it? It's our girl. Smashing the mirror. Okay. Ghost attacks. This is the same as the good ending. Still gonna pay my price. And then... I think this is the same choice I picked in the good ending. Okay, this is new. Her grudge must be really strong.
They tormented her all her life. Even more through me. But to travel so far, even doing that must take an enormous amount of power. I didn't realize she was that strong in Esper.
Still, I couldn't help but wonder. If all she wanted was to take her grudge out on other spirits, why did she show up at the school that day? She'd had no reason to lurk around here after getting rid of everything lurking on the grounds, right?
It can be hard to understand the motivation of ghosts. The way they see the world is more like a shadow, so the way they interpret things isn't always realistic. She could have been here for any reason.
I was already getting pretty used to him reading my thoughts like that, or just hearing them anyway. It was strange how comfortable I was with it now. At first it had been kind of embarrassing.
They're quieter now. Your thoughts, I mean.
Oh?
I can only hear them because I'm used to the sound already. But since you got back, I noticed they're quieter.
So you did notice they're quieter. Interesting. Weird. Maybe they were just so loud before because there wasn't enough space in that body for mine and hers.
Maybe.
He clenched his hands tighter and looked down.
After everything is over, I hope someone is able to help my mother.
Someone. But not him? Then again, something like that would probably, definitely be difficult for him to do. Maybe Gus can do it. Maybe she can find a way to help her move on. You can worry about that later. For now, you should just try to rest. It's been a really, really long day. So, let's get some rest. Well, I'm glad that sped through the creepy part of the nightmare sequence. I think I blinked too, which is great. Okay, I think this is our last choice. And then after this, it all goes bad. That face. I shot him a teasing smirk. Yeah, glad to hear you're sorry. You put me through a lot, you know.
I know that. Not only did I start all this, but I was also so hateful for all those years.
Whoa, hey, I was joking. In the end, the real culprits were the Fae. I mean, they tricked you and me both. I don't know who makes a deal like that with children and thinks it's okay.
Yeah.
Look, there's no point in feeling guilty. The last 5 years sucked for both of us. You said it yesterday. We have to move on. Kind of hard when there's one living in the house. At least it's not trying to kidnap anyone. I'm just glad it's not stealing my homework anymore. Seriously. Whoa, wait, I was joking. Okay, I figured it was gonna be this scene that was gonna trigger the bad end, because I think it's called Will-O-The-Wisp, this bad ending. They were so pretty. I watched them swaying almost hypnotically, dancing in the air as if they were alive. I shot a look back toward the bathroom door and Spencer's room before I slipped my shoes off quietly, crept back downstairs. I just wanted a closer look. That was all. I'd never seen Will-O-The-Wisp before. Well, get ready to be dragged off to Faerie Town. In the foyer, I pulled the door open and peeked outside. There was one floating just a few feet away, a glowing ball of light. I could almost see a shape inside it, like a tiny person with wings. So they're fairies? It danced a few feet further away, and I stepped out onto the porch. I didn't know why. I wasn't even thinking about what I was doing, really. Beyond the porch was another light that swayed gently out of reach. Oh no, she's chasing butterflies like Frankenstein. I went toward it, but it moved away. But beyond it was another, so I went toward it instead. I just wanted to see one up close. Just once. Just this one time before I let all this stuff go and never even thought about fairies again. Without realizing, I found myself in the forest still chasing wisp after wisp and never quite managing to catch one. They were still surrounding me, warm, gentle, and heartbreakingly familiar somehow. Familiar. Beautiful. Deep longing filled me as I continued to follow them deeper and deeper into the trees. I really don't know how long I walked. It didn't feel like it was very long. 5 minutes? 10? I didn't even realize when the forest around me shifted. The air was warm and the wisps were so colorful and bright. The snap of a twig behind me broke me from the strange reverie, and I suddenly realized what I was doing. No! What was I... Why? How could I have been so stupid? I had no idea where I was. The forest was weird too. Green, warm, and drenched in heavy twilight. There was a shadow under one of the trees, and then... she was there. My stomach dropped to the ground, and my legs went weak as I tried to back away. She just smiled serenely.
You won't get away this time.
My mouth was too dry to answer, and my legs just wouldn't work. I stood frozen in place as she approached.
You didn't think we would let you go so easily. You've been ours for a long time, and you'll remain ours. Just because I let them think they won doesn't mean I ever intended to forget that you belong to us.
She wrapped her arms around me, and with that, my soul left my body again. We were gone. For night's swift dragons cut the clouds full fast, and yonder shines Aurora's harbinger, at whose approach ghosts, wandering here and there, troop home to churchyards. Alright. Was that called Will-O-The-Wisp? It was, Will-O-The-Wisp. I can kind of guess what the next one's gonna be, too. The Divide, I wonder when that takes place. Okay, so the Will-O-The-Wisp that she saw from her window was Rule trying to bring her back already, which is crazy. Interesting, interesting. Alright, next time, The Divide. See you then, guys.